Well, we've made it to the trail. Woohoo! We're aired down, ready to go. Picking on Sean. Picking.
Already, it doesn't take long.
Oh. Yeah, so this is another one close to home. We might see snow today.
I suppose it's shadowed enough, right?
We'll definitely find water. See if that.
At least there's doors in the car and we don't have to worry about getting soaked.
Getting soaked is fun.
Not during the winter.
Considering we saw snow the last time we were out.
Yeah. Well, the snow actually fell on us the last time.
I found that unlikely today.
Yeah, me too.
Unless Jerry runs into a tree that's holding.
Right?
Not totally unthinkable.
Yeah, it might
I think
happen.
it would be. I wouldn't have offered it up if it wasn't.
Might see the other group out here.
The ones we were going to go with until we got the Corvette freaking...
Yeah, I didn't want to drive all the way from Vegas with the idea of a Def Womble. There's a full-size poodle. No.
That's
German
a red
short
tip,
hair.
blue tip, red tip, short hair.
It's a German short hair. That's pretty doggy. It's a pretty doggy.
Just a dog.
Oh, you can't have just a cat, so.
Yeah, you can.
So we'll find out if our seal seal.
Did you fill it up?
It was already full. It was like right there.
Okay.
You know how oil is? It looks like it's making big messes, but it's really not that much.
Wildlife Fire Station.
Yep.
BLM Fire Station.
BLM, yep. BLM or forestry, I'm not sure which. I think it's BLM. It just says well, it's BLM. It's got the symbol on the corner. Squeaky, squeaky, squeaky.
Yep. Little bit of squeaks.
Washboardy Road. Washboard Road. A lot of side-by-sides fly up this road. Whee! Is that the same coat from last week?
Sure.
I was just wondering. Did it assault you, Katie? Randy, say you have some PC parts for you?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It'd be faster. Either of my machines, and that would be the you give to Katie.
That would be the machine you give to Katie, or would you build a new one for yourself and then give her your machine?
Nope, give that one to Katie. I don't need anything faster than what I've got. Does everything I want to do. Most of what I do is reading on.
Well, if we ever start gaming again, if we ever find a game that we actually
If
want to
we
get
ever find
together.
a game that's actually worth anything, yeah. I don't think much of the current offerings.
Yeah.
Besides, I really like games like when she had us watching the other day, what was called Bloody Traplands.
What's that?
That's a fun little game.
I don't remember seeing that one.
Bloody Traplands, where those little cat-looking guys keep getting splashed all over the place.
Hmm.
It's a multiplayer game, but it's not really cooperative.
I like to find another MMO that we can actually play together.
I would too, but none of them actually seem to be worth anything. And you really, really like PvP, and TJ and I can't stand it.
You know, true competition.
Don't start with that shit.
I also like first-person shooters.
See, people like you seem to think that because PvP is an option, it's a requirement.
It is a requirement.
It's not a requirement. If I'm out there just trying to collect some freaking cloth so I can build a new bag, I don't want to have somebody else jumping in and swarming me just because they can. That is the part of PvP that pisses me off. If it's battlegrounds or freaking things like that, sure, absolutely.
I like games that you can actually flag in. Like Star Wars used to be, you could just flag for PvP. Then you got so many hours that you're flagged. I was excited to play New World, but
And then pushed
that went away. By the time we finally launch it, the graphics will be 2 years old, so it won't be worth playing. I like to find something that's got good crafting in it and not just a grind fest. But all the ones that come from China, Japan, or Korea all seem to be just grind fests.
They're the only ones producing anything new in it.
I know.
I like Star Wars Galaxies as it was an entirely player-driven economy.
Yeah.
If you wanted something, you had to find somebody who could make it.
Yep. EVE Online was the same way.
EVE's still going, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
The problem is EVE has that same freaking PvP problem.
Yeah.
And while you adore that, I don't, not so much. At least with Galaxies, like you said, flag on,
table? Camelot?
Yeah,
second
Camelot
Camelot.
Unchained.
Yeah. I never did look at it. I never played the
either.
first one.
It was supposed to, when I was looking at it a couple of years ago, they were what they were talking about seemed like pure PvP.
Yeah, that's what Camelot was, wasn't it?
The Dark Age of Camelot?
Yeah.
Dark Age of Camelot wasn't pure PvP, but it was close enough.
Yeah. There was the other one I played for a little bit. I still got. I can't remember what it's called right now off the top of my head, but it was just a grind fest too. They got the little survival games. I kind of like those.
Except that some people see them as a reason to just jump in and kill everybody.
Well, some of them you can't. It's just you trying to defeat the zombies or whatever. Or groups of people. You got a new one out that's supposed to be pretty decent. It's a cheap one of those free to play, you know.
The little phone games.
Basically, but it's not. I was trying to remember what JC called it. He said he's been playing it with his friends. But I think it's going to be more of like a first-person shooter, it sounds like. Oh, there's a popular one out, Katie. It's something about zombies. It's like The Last Night on Earth or something like that.
Oh, wow. 7 days to... No, not 7 days. No, yeah, it's 7 days to die.
Is that any good? I know you've probably seen videos for it because it's been pretty popular.
I don't know, because the dude that I watch hasn't released any recent videos
Oh,
because
okay.
it's gotten so popular. There's probably been a lot of updates.
Oh, yeah.
But from what I can tell, it's a crafting-based survival game, and you have 7 days till the hordes actually start coming down on you. And you have to get the supplies, a way to restock your supplies, and generally a way to restock your food by the time the hordes start coming.
Ah. Is that a group effort or is that a solo?
You can make it a group effort.
That's what I thought.
Well, it turns out to be any good. Maybe we can convince DJ and Tony into it.
I've heard a lot of people play it.
And then you stream it. We'll get on DJ's Vents or Discord server.
I can usually stream. Like I said, if we do a game and streaming becomes popular, then I'll put in a business account, internet, instead of personal.
Probably get away with that now, honestly. You're spending, you gotta make money for that, yeah.
It costs money. Because if you get a high enough business, I think they'll run, because I'm in that area where I think they'll run fiber to me.
Okay.
But you got to pay for it.
Well, if that's the case, when we're making that kind of money, we gotta get you out of that place anyway.
Right, right.
Squirrel! Still right there.
I know, I was just being a smartass. I think it was a chipmunk, but yeah,
well,
same difference. There's a
Small
rodent.
rodent with a tail. Fluffy tail.
Fluffy rodent tails.
You can use a friend of mine's word for them. We can call them all flicker tails.
Flicker tail.
But squirrel sounds better.
What about the one from the movie last night? The anime. What was the name of the rodent?
Oh, hamster. Hungarian hamster. But they do have kind of a rat's tail. So, not really a flicker tail.
The wise something of the forest. The wise something of the forest.
Wise king.
Oh, was it wise king of the forest?
Yes, Hungarian hamster.
I'm still trying to figure out where the wise part came from.
Didn't kill everything.
Yay! I feel like a bobblehead.
You are a bobblehead.
Bless you. And he exploded.
Yes, it's a camera.
They charge better when you plug them in. I had it unplugged
Okay.
because there's no reason to have it plugged in. Doesn't look like the snow got down low enough for us to see snow up in there, but it might.
Alright, the snow did get down far enough, but whether it's still there,
Well, that's what I mean. Looks like the snow's pretty high right
I
now.
would have thought that it would have melted off pretty quick, honestly. It hasn't been a very cold winter.
Not yet. Finally seen some rain though, that was good. 290 some days without a cannibal rain. So it's nice having this in here because now I can match the audio. So I know that the video's in the right when I
Okay?
split window it or whatever you call it, picture in picture it. I
Why do you
did,
need to match the audio? I mean, that's just going to be
well,
a camera of the future.
but matching the audio makes it so that they're in the same link. So when we talk about hitting a rock, we hit the rock in the video at the same time as we talk about hitting the rock. It makes it easier to link the videos. When it was out front, the sound didn't match, so I had to match the events to match the video with the sound.
Okay.
I did a picture-in-picture for the BattleTech this week. I want to see how it looks. Although our resolution's all screwed up, so, but it is what it is. We fixed it.
I'm still having trouble with the fact that next week is the next BattleTech game. I have to
Oh
build
my
a
gosh.
95-ton Mac.
Not this Sunday, but the Sunday after, yeah.
Next week.
That's not next week. Today's Saturday.
Jerry,
Next week would be tomorrow.
I'll let you at the moment.
Okay. We gotta figure out how to measure those rear shocks. You got any ideas?
Yes.
Okay. Let me hear 'em.
Take both of them out.
Well, I know we got to do that.
Then we lift one until the spring starts coming loose.
How do we lift it?
From the frame, Jerry.
No, that's not gonna work. You
I'm
gotta
not
twist
trying to
it.
measure both of them at the same time, Jerry. We need a maximum length before we can figure out what the minimum length is.
You have to twist it though, because one has to go down while the other one goes up to get your maximum length.
No.
Okay, explain to me.
The only thing the shock does back there on its maximum is keep the spring in place. So lift it until the spring is about to come loose, and that is your maximum length.
No, it's not.
Then you tell me and stop
Because-
asking me questions
Because when
about
you
it.
articulate, the springs come loose and float. Every time I twist the front end up, you can walk back there and pull the spring out. I'm just trying to figure out how we're going to twist it so we can measure it. That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Then don't ask me.
Okay. And we probably need to measure the fronts too. Oh, well, we shouldn't have changed though, so it should be the same. Because that was one of the mounts that didn't get cut and put back on. I think that was the only mount that didn't get cut and put back on when they did the steering. Hence the reason why I leave my Jeep in 4-wheel drive now. The only axle I've ever broken. Pretty silly way of doing it too.
Yeah, I suppose.
back out of the dust. Get a whole lot more snow this winter. We're gonna be in trouble next year. Place will be a tinderbox. Can't believe it's already January. getting warm myself. Freaking hand's still killing me, man. I don't know what I did to it.
Face is still killing me, and I'm still not sure what you did to it.
I don't know either. I was just born this good looking, and I'm sorry I bothered you so much.
That's gotta be it. DVD case. Kids DVD case.
Paw Patrol.
What is it?
Paw Patrol. It's a kid's show.
No reason to leave it here.
The things we find on the trail. Found a hammer last time. Is there anything actually in it?
There is actually a DVD in it. Kid, give that to your
Yeah.
sister.
Oh, fuck. It's actually the DVD it says it is.
Oh, that's funny.
So some family came up here.
Right? On a side by side, had
It's
the,
actually in decent condition, too. Right.
they were probably in a side by side, and they brought a DVD player to keep the kids quiet.
It's either that or it was a van of some sort.
I don't know that I get a van up here. I mean, I suppose you could.
Oh yeah.
Mom's done it before, and there was no trail information. Well, not up here. We were up in Utah. They were trying to get to a campsite, and she ended up taking a four-wheeler trail.
Four-wheeler trail? Or a bike
RTD trail? I think that's what it was.
ATV.
ATV, something like that. And she got 3/4 of the way up before she decided that she had enough, and that the path she was taking wasn't going to lead where it was she was trying to go. Turned around, went all the way back, only to learn she was 3/4 of the way there.
Those are the people.
Went back up the main road.
Those are the people that just go ahead and go up stuff like that, and they get stuck and starve to death.
No.
There was a bunch of cell towers up on that path. So
That's
I
what
don't think
happens
they
to
were
that.
starved to death.
Lady in Death Valley.
Well, that's Death Valley. It's got its name for a reason.
Just went up where we usually go up to the cabins,
Okay.
and following GPS, and got stuck up there, and no water. And her son passed. She lived, but her son passed away. This is one of my favorite little canyons, but it's just too peoply.
Too easy to get to.
Yeah. You get a lot of people up here from Vegas and stuff. I've pulled a few vehicles out of here. We had a kid had an old Chevy vapor lock down in here, right in the narrows. Nobody could get past him. And this guy comes running up and starts screaming and yelling at us. And I looked at him. I said, "Do you want to fix the truck? Do you know how to fix the truck? If not, shut the hell up and leave." They just looked at me like, I said, "Do you know how to fix it?" "Oh, well, okay, well, the truck ain't going nowhere until we fix it. So keep back in your vehicle or freaking go home. I don't care what you do. You're not going to sit up here and scream and yell at me." It wasn't the kid's fault his truck broke down. Sometimes vapor lock is a pain in the ass to push through.
Yes, it is. Fuel
Especially-
pumps don't push gas all that well.
Well, they don't pull gas all that well. It's a mechanical fuel pump. There's a 60s truck. And what they did is they put a dual exhaust on it.
Got too close to the line.
They were right up against the frame, and the steel line ran through the frame. So I told him he was going to have to untuck his exhaust or
Put some serious heat shield.
in between it and the frame. I put heat sinks on it to get it to quit.
Sometimes just a simple clothespin will do it.
We used the steel paper clips,
Yeah.
the ones that you squeeze and
Yeah.
clamp. I had a couple of those in the Jeep at the time. No, I didn't. Somebody else did. Yeah, we put it on the line and pulled the line off and
Let it blow.
siphoned it by mouth.
I always hate the way that tastes.
Yeah, that's always fun.
Especially if you accidentally swallow something, you're burping it for a week.
No, then we hooked it back up to the mechanical pump and it started right up. We had people trying to drive through the trees to get around us and stuff, and it's like, there's no other way around people. Trying to wedge their side-by-sides past the truck. It was like a baby blue. I think it was like a 62, 63 Chevy pickup. And that kid came unglued when that guy tried to wedge his freaking side-by-side past it.
Don't blame him.
$4,000 paint job. He flat on you scratch my freaking truck, I'll pull you out of that thing and beat the hell out of you. I was laughing. His dad put a lot of money in that truck for him. That was a baby blue pearl. It was really pretty. I don't think it was an actual pearl. I think it was just a pearlescent metal flake. You know, the fake pearl that they do on the newer cars. I think it was the Ford Mustang pearl blue that they had out. I like the color change one that the Mustangs had for a little bit. That was kind of cool.
Yeah, that, what do they call it? Mystic?
Something like that, yeah. They had 3 different ones at one point. They had one that does purples, one that did blue, and then I think one that did red, didn't it?
Ford put one color in and called it Mystic, and then DuPont or whoever the paint company was made a couple more.
Because they had a red that went all the way to like a dark purple. That was pretty cool. The canyon's down in the shadow, so there's probably still snow down in there then. It's just a shadow of its former self. We're going to take the optional roll so we can flex the suspension out a little bit and see if it's rubbing or not before we put the new part on.
Okay.
And if it's rubbing, we'll have to pull the top here. without moving the bottom, because we can't move the bottom any farther. Looks like grass.
Millimeter
Yeah, that's what it looked like. It looked like a
cartridge. Casing shell.
yeah, but I'm trying to remember what it's called. The nickel.
Nickel plated.
Yeah, the nickel's the shiny one. So did you find a use for your pouches?
They're stretching at the moment.
Oh, okay. So now I figure I probably need to get pouches. I found the cleaning rod for $9.
Okay.
I didn't order it. I don't know why I didn't, but I found it for $9. Amazon's got one for $20. I figured the $9 one probably cost about $20 by the time they had shipping and handling to it. The scope I wanted was $300, so I was like, dude.
I don't like those flop out of the way ones anyways. You never know for absolute certainty if they're going to land in exactly the same spot again.
Well, they lock in, so.
Well, if it locks in, that's fine, but it's still not necessarily going back to the exact same spot.
According to the over 3,000 reviews it had, it goes back to 0.
Okay, so people who review things on Amazon
It wasn't on Amazon. It was on one of the Brawling or something like that. Might have been Browning. I don't remember. Websites. So here's where we drop in. I actually had to pull a Ford up this one day, and I would have made it by myself, except for,
Oh, look, ice.
yeah, that's why we're going to downshift. We came across a side-by-side coming up this, and he sat right in the middle of the road, so I had to stop. So then we had to hook like 4 Jeeps to it to get it up. This road's well-traveled, as you can tell by the slippery mess in front of us. So this winter we'll find out how bad it is to have a constantly locked rear axle. I have a feeling we're going to do a lot of hill climbs sideways. Because that's what happens every time I put the lockers in the snow. I end up sideways to such a short wheelbase. So it'll make it interesting.
I think you're right. I think we should find 2 of them Samurais and just do whatever we can to.
Right? Just do cheap builds. Well, that
That's
wasn't
an eventual thing, honestly.
Yeah, definitely.
So, okay, you've got a Samurai. Now you can drop X dollars into it.
Right.
However you want to drop X dollars into it.
Well, that wasn't near as slick as I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, I thought it'd be a little bit slipperier, more slippery also.
More slipperier.
Slipperier.
The
more
slipperiest.
slippery. Less slippery.
It was
More
less slippery.
I thought it would be more slippery than it was.
Slippy, slippy, slide, slide.
That's an odd word, isn't it?
Moist.
Not that one.
Moisture.
Moisture.
Moisture. But what if it's more moist? Is it moisture?
It's wet.
I still haven't figured out why that's a 4-letter word now.
That would be, let's see. The name of the series was Dead Like Me. That's why it's a 4-letter word.
Oh, yeah. Obviously, I haven't heard that series. Seen that series, whatever it is.
Side-by to go catapulting over that
Right.
pine trees there. Crunch.
I like to slide off of this and go down there when it's all ice. I come across this and I'm so light, I just slide right down the hill. Nothing I can do about it. I just end up coming up this instead. I've done it 4 or 5 times now. Just slide right down, complete sideways down the hill. It's like, I guess we're just going to come up from here. But this really isn't slick, which is kind of odd. Because it hasn't really frozen over, or it's warm enough it's thawed a little bit. I'm not sure which. So yeah, that truck was stuck right in here. Like right here where these trees are, somewhere in this area. And there's no way around it.
You could probably put a side-by over there.
They tried.
Getting back onto the road would be a pain in the ass.
They tried everything. There's a bunch of people. That's why I said this place gets too people-y. It was like the first big snow of the year and we came up here. I think Ian was with me for that one.
Little junipers.
Was that you, Sean?
Yes, you're welcome.
Is that something outside, or was that one on YouTube?
That was him. That was your papa. Yes, he's your daddy.
I knew that.
Just be glad you guys can't smell over the cameras. Ooh, that's what we need. We need smeller camera. Then they can smell you like we do.
Yeah, no.
At least you're not
That's
Ian.
what movies used to do. Just get a scratch and sniff card.
At least you're not Ian. We would have gotten out of the Jeep if you were Ian.
Would have left the Jeep for half an hour if it was squeak.
My dogs are pretty bad though.
Most dogs are. Yeah, that lifter Earl scares the hell out of me when he puts trucks like my dog up there.
Okay.
Because there's like 3/4 of the truck hanging off the end.
It's hard to balance them on
I put the
small legs. Legged man.
yeah, on the back of the frame. And actually pick it up a little bit. Yesterday it actually went pretty smooth.
Yeah.
I've had to fight that a lot worse than that before. I never thought about picking it up on the track bar links. Not the track bar, the sway bar.
You gotta roll it. The only way to do that
Well,
is
that's-
to grab something that's sticking out.
Well, I grabbed the sway bar link and pulled back on it, but I never lifted up
wanna
on
lay
it.
it down on
Yeah. Well, I was always afraid of taking it off the lift, which we did get kind of close to a couple of times. Well, at least his sway locks work, or else that would be more of an issue. I've seen people disconnect those, and that's really bad. Because then it just, if you push on it, it slides backwards and then folds. You know, the links that stop it from swinging back and forth, the legs, the arms. I've seen people disconnect those because they don't adjust them correctly, so they don't unlock. And then you push on the truck, and then the arms all swing to the back, and then the truck falls off. Or the car, or whatever you got up there. They had an article out I was reading. It was really funny. Why the 2013 through 2018 JKs are the best Jeep ever built.
Well, that's a personal opinion.
I laughed hard. Maybe for highway use.
Everybody's got their opinion. Everybody's welcome to their opinion.
No.
Some people believe that.
I still like to see how Jeep's Last is going to do with that little diesel we put in it. We put a little diesel in the GLs.
Okay.
Little economy diesel.
Okay.
I think it's a 6-cylinder, but I'm not 100% sure.
That's cool. Put a turbo on it.
I don't know if it's turboed or not. It might be. Then they put a 2-liter turbo in it, which is basically the engine that comes.
Gasoline turbo.
Yep. It's basically the engine that comes out of the Dodge
Neon.
Dart.
Well, yeah, Neon's around it.
Yeah. And I'm like, that engine is going to be way underpowered because turbos don't make low end torque. So everything you're going to use that for, the turbo is absolutely useless.
Well, it'd be fine for highway use.
Right. But that's about it. I guess if you're going to build it for desert racing,
4-cylinder?
I'm just trying to figure out what you need high RPMs for on a Jeep, and that's the only two things I can think of is
On-road use.
on-road or like a pre-runner style build. Like I said, the diesel would be nice because if it's got the low end grunt to it.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it's a V6 or what it is. Might be a 4-cylinder also. Which wouldn't be too bad. Being an inline, have a little bit more bottom end torque. But it sounds like it's set up more for economy.
So I bet they got that frickin' diesel exhaust fluid.
They have to. They have to pass emissions. That's a federal law. You have to put cow piss in your diesels. We're just behind us. Oh, there they are. We got snow. Not much snow, but we got snow. take one of those little diesels and you get rid of all the emissions BS, and then you put it in a TJ. I'd much rather have that Cummins.
Yeah, that little Cummins 4 or 3-cylinder.
It's a 4-cylinder.
Well, they make a 3-cylinder too.
Well, I know they do, but the one that they make that comes with the kit, the a 2.4 turbo diesel, it comes with everything you need to bolt it straight into my TJ. Computer, everything.
Okay.
A 2.8. It's a 2.8. They put it in tube socket. And it bolts right up to the manual transmissions. If you have an automatic, you have to pay for a different plate.
Okay. Wait, really?
Yeah.
They use the same bell housing
It's the adapter plate,
for the torque converter?
I guess. I don't know. He said if you have a manual, it'll bolt right up with the kit they sell, but if you have an automatic, you have to buy a different adapter plate.
Probably so they can get the torque converter attached to it.
That's the only thing I can think of.
It should basically be different flywheel.
Yeah, I don't. Maybe that's what they're calling it. Is it just says on their website an adapter plate. That's all I know what the website says. I looked at it a whole lot.
Okay. Really interested, huh?
This thing would be awesome with a little diesel in it.
Probably way less than this 6-cylinder too.
Probably does. You get a lot better fuel economy. 10 is kind of a bad number. Yeah, they put it in a tube sock and then put tube sock under a pond. You drove it through a pond.
I remember seeing that.
Yeah, that's tube sock. It's a cute little Jeep. It's a 02, I think. TJ Sport, just like this. But he's got axles and everything else under it. I think he's got 44s front and rear under it.
Yeah, I remember it getting stuck in the mud at the bottom.
Yeah. I remember the Army videos of them taking the World War II Jeeps underwater.
Yeah, they had those tall, narrow tires though. They could dig to the bottom of the mud. In theory.
They were just so light, they just bounced over everything. I've seen videos of them. There's a group that takes a bunch of them up onto Moab. They just bounce through all that stuff those rock crawlers go through. They take those little things, their bone stock through. With those tiny little skinny tires and everything, they just bounce over everything. It's just insane. You can imagine what these guys' backs feel like after. Because they're all
freaking slap seats.
well, they're all like 70, 80-year-old guys. There's a whole group of them. Oh, that's you got to squeeze your way through that one, unless a lot of people's been driving it lately. I just wanted to make sure Kathy knew which one we took. I've owned a JK, and I like my TJ better. I did like my JK because I could put people in it, though. That was kind of nice. When I had the whole family thing going on.
Yeah.
Right until the neighbor destroyed it.
Yeah.
Looks like a lot of people's been through it, so it might not be the rougher road anymore. Well, the rear axle's locking up, that's for sure. Yep, I'm going this way. The other road comes right in here anyway.
I figured it did.
I just like to opt for the more interesting trail. Been in here when this thing was 6-7 inches deep in water. Games until the snow pushes a tree in the way for the wind. Oh, all these tracks are probably from that other group, actually.
Really?
Yep.
Mess out of your soft top.
Oh, I've had my soft top over that. Oh, there's a rock there.
You noticed that?
Looks like we're going to have to upgrade that rear diff cover eventually, too. Get our taxes done and then get that truck finished. go.
Are you calling me a billy goat?
No, he's calling the Jeep a billy goat.
Your brother's Jeep broke down here and then he snapped the handle off. Or you snapped the handle off. Somebody broke the handle and he got all mad. So I think you were with us at that time. When it popped the linkage out again.
I rebuilt those damn handles with steel instead of the plastic.
Right.
A little bit of welding. You've got handles that aren't going to break again. So these cheap plastic things.
Like these ones? That
Yes.
keep replacing?
Much like these ones.
This tree.
Push rod, a ball bearing, and 2 nuts, and the things look just fine. Hello, tree.
Oh, I wanted to go that way. Instead, I ended up taking the easy road.
Sure.
Yep. I know for a fact. Kathy might have to wedge her way into that one. Nope, there she is.
Now, I know this doesn't look like much of a road, but there is a road here.
Yeah, this is actually the original road that washed out, and then they built that road. And in the state of Nevada, any dry wash can be used as a road legally.
Technically, this is dry.
It is a dry wash. There's no water running in it. There's just snow in it right now.
And you said you've been here when there was water running.
I've been here when there's water running. There is no water running now. The end of the alternative road. I think Cree was 8 or 9 the first time she drove that. Piece of a car. Mud flap? Or a skid plate?
Probably an inner fender liner.
Could be from a side-by-side too. Calf cramp. I need more bananas. Now this looks like it's solid ice. Yep. I remember when this was completely washed out. This was a pain in the butt to get up. About 2 or 3 years ago we came up here and this was completely washed out. This is the main road, and it had water running down it, like a foot of it when we came up.
Ooh.
And there's no shock in the
there.
back. Really need to put shock on this thing. I have to figure out how to twist it up so I can do the measurements. This is just solid ice. This is fun. It is. It's solid ice.
Cracking under us.
That was slush back there. On top of ice, which is even worse. Well, this is the creek. Well, it should be over there,
But
but
today,
yeah, well, it splits up here, and sometimes it ends up on the road as much as the. I've seen that little dip where somebody got stuck. Kind of cool, huh? Oh, we fell through.
a bitch to get out of here if we did manage to get thoroughly stuck.
There's a big wall right here. We can't drive through it. We had to go around it because the roots here held all the dirt in place, and there was like a 4-foot drop. I
Water
Still
running down.
slogging through. Are you on top of? Well, you were on top of it.
yeah.
That happens sometimes.
Well, other vehicles have been through here and broken it. Probably heavier vehicles.
Finding cracks in the ice.
Yeah. I wish I had a camera showing our vehicle. The road's over here. That's the first stop. This is the main stop that goes up to the
Oh, right.
big trees.
This is the campsite.
Camera
This
be able
one-
to
yeah, the
catch
campsite.
On the way back.
Hold on. Randy said something.
What's that?
Stuck in the holes. Hang on.
Not good.
Do you have lockers?
Yeah, well, lockers don't work when all 4 wheels spin.
And this is why I think the TJ is a better off-road vehicle.
The ice just got us trapped.
Ugh. My rear locker's got us trapped.
You know, you probably wouldn't do this if there was no snow on the road.
So this is the alternative road, really.
The water slush.
Well,
The ice on top just make it look like slush.
it's slush because people's been driving through it. All right. I think she's gonna try to get up here.
We can winch her or we can drag her.
All right. Yeah, just drive straight across and come up here. There's a tree behind me.
Not the first time you've driven up one.
All right. Oh, that hole's bigger than I thought it was.
Yeah, this is where those Suzukis would probably be a blast.
Yeah.
Little bitty things, smaller than a side by.
I gotta stop to shift a second. The whole yeah, we fell. That's a big hole we fell in.
Mm-hmm.
Kathy's just got so much more weight than we do.
Yeah, she tears through it real easy.
Yeah. And then once she starts spinning, that's it. There's just no getting traction. Hopefully we can get her around this. See, I actually don't want 4 though, because I want tire spin. I want wheel spin. That might be the mistake she made that day too.
Don't go too far. She needs to get out of that.
Well, I stop and we're not going to get her out of anything.
Right.
There's a little bump in the road, but give her a little onion, you'll be fine.
We went the other way already. So not on the ice today.
All right, we'll see you at the top. Because that way doesn't go all the way to the top.
Cut between trees.
No, you can't. There's a big. The creek is in your way.
The creek isn't flowing down the road.
Well, no, it's straight down into the creek.
Something going plump.
Might have ripped that shot completely off. I wouldn't be surprised. Just saying. And the pond still isn't frozen over. Or the dam, whatever you want to call it. No driving into the trees. Oh, they made a second dam too. Look at that. Damn people. Making dams. Oh, that is so sweat. Don't fall in. Yeah, these boots don't have the tread that you used to have. Oh, look at that honey stuff out on that. That is good. It's pretty. You want me to take that? Nope. Nope. Katie said nope.
Yeah, for good reason.
It just, oh, that's just because there's an air pocket there. I was stepping on the other stuff's probably more solid. So this is a trailhead for a much bigger hiking trail. And supposedly there's 2 ponds up there that have fish in it. We've hiked it a little ways. I never found fish.
That is not what fishing for. But big. Just watching the little air pockets going through the water. And the water sticking to the ice.
So Kathy and Randy stopped back there. I don't know if they're going to hike up here or what they're going to do. So I've been up here when the snow's 3-4 feet deep. I've actually had it where I couldn't get up here a couple of times. Yep.
She's great.
Ooh.
Katie. Oh yeah, I've got a hood.
Oh yeah, I got a hood. It's a hoodie.
Still figuring out the bits and bobs.
It's a nice jacket.
Yeah, I thought so too.
We got the cheap Jeep. There's nothing cheap about the Jeep.
As has been foretold by your car company, who's trying to take it back.
What's that?
Jeep, that's what it stands for.
Oh,
Just empty every pocket.
Still rubbing.
What's still rubbing?
The track bar. Huh? See the bolt?
Wouldn't make a whole lot of sense.
See the bolts
Yeah.
scraped? Yep. So it's still rubbing. Oh, we'll have to adjust the uppers back some more.
Has the wheel come off the ground since then?
No, that's just from coming up here.
Okay.
What's up? It's rubbing.
Exists. It's a Jeep.
Oh, you ready to go?
Sure.
Yes.
What?
Yes.
Whitewash. If there weren't so many rocks down here.
Because it's fun.
Because it's fun.
Because it's fun.
That's a good thing it is fun. It doesn't really have the heart to retell you.
Oh, there's another Powerade under here somewhere. That's a water. Powerade. That's a water.
Alright, Jerry, you're gonna dislocate your arm. Oh.
I did dislocate my arm. How do you think I got my arm back there? Yeah. Well, there's Kathy. I
Bright
figured,
orange?
Yeah. I figured she wasn't coming up here because Randy was here by himself, so I started coming down. Hope she doesn't get upset.
There's Randy.
Nope. And then there's another dam somebody built.
Maybe that's the one where I saw a fish. I thought it was deeper than the one we just saw, though.
Well, that top one's the deepest one. It was the deepest one. People's been messing with it. Come down here and they've cut these trees down before. That makes you a little upset. After that big flood, that's when that big tree got here and it was actually blocking the road. You couldn't get up here. And we winched it out of the way.
That's a little bothersome.
What's that?
Those bushes growing out of the crack of the rock.
Yeah, it splits the
It
chunk
shatters
of the
the
rock.
rock.
That was cut with a big ass saw.
Yeah, pull in there and
Slip. Oh.
yeah.
And that's one of those things where you just can't go so slow, you know what I mean?
Mm.
You're gonna have some speed. Somebody got stuck here and dug a big hole.
They're not getting out of that.
Yeah. Just not where I wanted to.
That way.
Thinking about putting my Jeep up on a big rock. You see a big rock?
See a Jeep.
I was thinking about putting my Jeep on a rock so I can see what part of it's rubbing. And if it's still going to hit the... If it's just rubbing the bolt, I'm not too worried about rubbing the bolt. You know what I mean?
I think what was happening was when it picked that thing up, it would slam that into the arm, into the diff cover.
I don't think that's it. I think it's just rubbing whenever it goes up and down. So I'm going to test it and see if it's rubbing when it goes up. Because that's when it should do it, is when it goes up, right?
Put me closer to the ground.
That made it easier for you to get out. It'd be better if the door was closed.
Why would we do that?
But we don't do damage to the door. next trick. It's not.
Stop. I'm trying to get this to latch, and it will latch when it's forward, because I've seen it do it. I don't know why it's not.
Whoop, and then pull it forward a little. It's usually right there when it latches. Slamming it doesn't make it latch. It's actually forward a little bit to latch. Yeah, there it is. It's actually going back too far, so it's jumping over where it's supposed to drop in. I need to put new seats in it. Basically, is what's going on. At least the passenger seat. I keep looking for them to come up. People sell them all the time, but all the ones I've seen that people have been selling recently have been trash.
They've been the same ones that you got.
Well, the seats are actually ripped. Where this is the only seat that's got even a small tear in it.
We are still recording. Are still recording.
My knee's wet. Kind of chilly. Kind of chilly having
Water.
a wet knee. Just fix that. Agua. H2O.
Hard water.
Hard water. This is definitely hard water.
Good Lord.
Those are probably the
I
holes
was
we...
kept expecting that damn seatbelt to lock, and it never did.
That's probably the holes that caused the track bar to rub. We're not driving down the road, we're skiing down it. Kathy tried to cut across the road there, but it's all ice, so she's gonna have a hard time doing that. We're gonna fall in this hole. There's a big hole on the left. Not as big as that hole up there was, but there's a big hole on the left.
The door's not closed anymore. Scout's got that problem. The whole body flexes.
And pops the doors
The
open.
doors will open.
This one usually doesn't do that. It's usually doesn't get latched all the way. So it flexes and then it pops just that first where it's loose.
Scout's got a double bar instead of a grabbing.
Yeah. I'm trying to stop. There we go.
So we might have to back up to hit them with a grabber.
The snatch strap. But bad thing about that is for me to get enough speed to snatch them, it's probably enough speed to slam them into us.
Yeah. We ain't stopping on this shit.
Yeah. There they are. They're right behind us. They came up. They got onto that alternative road.
Did?
Yeah.
Cool.
Now they're coming down off of it because it no longer goes through. I think she scared herself on the ice. You know, losing control. I think we should have came up and camped on the weekend.
That would have required cold weather here. A hole!
Yep.
Didn't pull it.
Oh.
There it goes.
I
Spoke a little bit too soon.
yeah, I was trying not to fall in it. said he sent that video card to one of the other art authors. I guess you know him.
Video card.
Yeah, the one you didn't want.
Oh, right. Not an author.
Oh, he's not. Just a
No,
friend.
he's an engineer.
Oh, okay. He just sent it to him. Didn't tell him. Told him he was getting the package he would have to sign for, and that's all he told him. And now the sun's back. The road quits being frozen. What if we switched the track bar? Put the link end down here and put the other end up there.
I don't see that causing a problem.
Because
It's narrower on the other end.
exactly.
Might work.
I think that's our fix. I think when we get the new end, that's what we'll do instead of moving my control arm. And then see if that works. Well, it won't bend it because the bar is stronger than the end is. So if nothing else, it'll just make contact. Yeah, I think that's my fix. I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to just swap the bar.
You want to start hearing clanging because your wheel's coming up. So I think that's what's causing it.
My wheel will come up?
When your wheel came up,
Oh.
it's always that wheel.
Oh yeah, I know that. But it also does it when we articulate enough too. Like when we fell in that hole back there, I'm pretty sure it hit. Because that front end hit pretty hard. And if we get it on a big enough rock, I can twist it up so we can actually see it hitting. But when we get the other end, I'll pull the whole thing off and just swap it over, and then that makes that fatter end down on the bottom. It'll be backwards, but I don't think that will make a difference. I don't think. No, I was just saying I don't think.
Glad you noticed.
All right, now.
Yeah, it did warm up, didn't it?
Then once we got in the sun, my knee
Out of the slush.
out of the slush. The slush was fun though.
I'm not arguing that.
I mean, Kathy didn't think so, but I thought it was fun.
My mom loves those trees.
Oh
Big
yeah.
old ponderosa pines.
I'm pretty sure we brought her up here before.
I know we have. Do you think her boyfriend's Toyota would have made the trip?
Oh yeah. May not have made it through falling through that water, but if they went up on the top side where Kathy went, they would have been fine. They may not have made it through that wash. They might have wanted to come this way instead. Well, it's 12 a back. 12 a back? It's 12 a back.
Huh?
It's 12 a back. It's almost 12 o'clock. Do we want to go straight back, or do we want to go to Wallace Canyon and then down Willard Pass?
See, Randy and Kathy want to join us for lunch somewhere?
Well, let's,
I don't know. Ask the other cars.
well, I asked you before I asked the other cars.
Katie and I are just going to go home and play video games.
Hello, hello, hello. We were debating on if we want to go straight back because it's 12 o'clock, or do we want to go to Wallace Canyon and down Willard Pass?
It's okay to Kathy.
So that's an okay for Wallace Canyon and Willard Pass?
Me.
Okay. That means less blacktop for me to drive down.
Right? You can pull up right behind Walmart or Smith's.
Yeah.
And from there, go straight down to Johnny's.
Squeal. Squeal. I think that's my fix instead of adjusting the... I mean, I think we still had to adjust the control arms because it was really hitting. But I think switching that might be my fix for That's not a bad idea. So when I get that new end, I'll switch. I won't switch until I get the new end. There's no reason to. I can't adjust it properly now anyway, so. Then I'll pick the whole front end up, drop it down, and then bounce it, and put it in.
Like what you do it at the shop.
Why is that?
Because if you sit there and you take that control arm out and you push the Jeep back and forth, the steering wheel wiggles back and forth. That means anything that you've taken out of there is out.
I'm not going to change the control arms. I'm going to just do the track bar.
I'm aware.
Oh, you said.
Talking about the track bar. Take the track bar out, and you wiggle it back and forth. It'll push the Jeep back and forth. Then the steering wheel wiggles, and you're saying that the steering is causing the differential to be uncentered.
That's why you pick the whole front end up and then sit it down.
You'd have to.
I can pick the whole front end up with.
You have to pick up the whole Jeep so the front end is hanging on the springs
No.
or the shocks.
No.
Because otherwise, it doesn't. What you're saying doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
Scrapey. Curry, why is the trees always hit on my side and they don't hit on your side? Because I'm driving. Catch the edge of that rock would be bad.
Yeah, could have taken a tire or two.
Look like a shark bastard. If I get money for income tax, I'll probably put 2 new tires on this.
Yeah.
Rotate them to the back. Big meaty tires on the back. If it wasn't for the computer stuff coming up, I probably would have done it with this money. But
Sort of need. Well, we need a hard drive space.
well, what I need is solid state.
Solid state doesn't have as much capacity as the other stuff.
Terabytes.
Well, I suppose you could get 8 terabyte drives, but you can get a 64 terabyte spinning disk. And it's not like we
Right.
need this, the fast.
Yes, I do. Because when I load it from the 4 terabyte to the app, it takes an hour and a half before I can start editing.
Solid state's not going to spend or
Yeah, it
speed that
is.
up that much.
Oh yeah, well. Because if I go from the one drive to my hard drive, it'll take an hour and a half. If I go from my solid state hard drive to the app, it's done in 10 minutes. Those bigger spinning drives are slower than molasses.
Okay, well, we still need the space.
Right. But I can use that space as a backup to save the stuff on, the videos on. So we're saving our videos. What I need to do is get a solid state, a bit larger solid state, like a 4 terabyte, 3 terabyte solid state. Just one of them right now. But I kind of want to get...
The problem is, Jerry, if you put that on your computer,
I'm not going to put it on my computer. I'm going to get a USB-C to USB-C.
USB 3.0.
No, C. C's faster, way faster.
C is just a connector, Jerry.
No, it's not. USB-C is faster than USB 3.0. It's also a data transport. Yes, USB-C
That is USB-C.
is faster than USB 3.0 when used as a data cable. Don't believe me, you can ask the computer master behind us. So when we get a laptop to do all this, we'll get one that has USB-C ports on it, and it'll be that much faster. Because right now, when I make a video and then the rendering of the video and I export it onto the 3 terabyte, because I leave our videos on the 3 terabyte drive, it takes 3.5 hours. And doing it on a solid state would probably cut it by 3/4. Because my big terabyte, my big drives are slow. Because I didn't spend a whole lot of money on them. Because I bought them as backups and picture, old pictures. I didn't buy them for video. But yeah, I want to get the mobile solid state drive instead of one that goes in the computer. That way, when we get a laptop, we can just take whatever's on it, throw it on the laptop, do the rendering, and we can send it out right away. Well, it won't be right away, but while we're on trips. I figured if we got a couple of the 2 terabytes, that would probably work too. You have some of them where you can put the SD cards right in them, and they automatically just pull everything off the SD card. You don't have to have a PC. You just gotta plug it in so it's got power, and then you put the chip in, and it just pulls everything right off the chip. I heard the birdies. Or that was a squeaking wheel bearing. I'm not sure which. Squeaking throttle bearing. No, my throttle bearing doesn't squeak, it squeals.
You said something about getting together.
Yeah. See what he when, where, how much.
Since I fixed that Bushmaster, we think that'll take care of that. Let's decide it.
You ever used Red Army ammunition?
That's what's in that box.
Oh, okay.
It's not good. It's not even close to match.
Our local internet dealer has magnetic and non-magnetic.
I think all the stuff you got is magnetic. It's all steel jacketed.
1,000-round cases for 223 and a bunch of other stuff too. I didn't see if he had 308 or not.
I got lots of 308 and 6.
Okay. But I've never heard of them. So.
I tend to shoot for accuracy.
Right, I know.
You can't use that stuff for accuracy.
Nope. But it's an AK-47, so.
Yeah, there's not a lot of accuracy.
Right. When it comes down to it, at least I can get some ammo.
I got paid $200 for 700 rounds.
Huh?
I think I paid $200 for 235 bucks for 700 rounds.
It's not bad.
It's got a lot less than that now.
Right.
I've still got 500 rounds of VMAX for the Mini 30.
I think his
No, it's not VMAX. It's ZMAX.
ZMAX.
The only difference is they use a green frickin' point instead of the red point.
Oh, is that your match ammo?
No, it's varmint rounds.
Oh.
VMAX is Hornady's varmint round.
Oh.
Their premier varmint round. They don't hold together very well because it's not designed for hunting. It's designed to kill varmints.
Right. I figured that's what we'll use the Odd 6 for, would be for hunting.
That's a hunting rifle. There's no doubt in my mind.
good for too.
If you say so.
I know so. It's killed more rabbits than any other, or more deer than any other round.
For a long time that was true. I'm not sure it is anymore.
Well, people still use it. Ranchers use it still quite a bit.
Those lever action rifles are handy.
And they're nice and short. And, yeah. You fit really good in the back window. Or behind the seat.
The Mini 30 was called a ranch rifle.
Yep. They're really good for the same reason. Really short.
I don't like the gas system.
Yeah, but they work well.
They do. They're just loud.
Yeah. I thought they were right behind us. Uh-oh. They have stopped. Excuse me, do you have some gray poop on?
Some great poop.
Gray poop? That you might want to see a doctor about that.
Did that to somebody in Utah.
That would work better if we were driving a Range Rover.
Did that to someone in Utah one time. Fuck me, but you have any great mom. And the guy next to us did.
Oh my.
But it was.
Arg. Arg. Now I just gotta remember where to turn left at. Well, this hill right up here, Cree tried to kill us on. It was a lot of fun. Where you panicked driving down one of the hills.
Okay.
Ah, it was a blast. We thought we were gonna roll. Me and Ian had to get out of the Jeep afterwards.
Kick her out of the driver's seat.
Oh no, I made her drive out of it. No, she got herself in trouble. I make her get out of it. I mean, she was crying by the time she was done, but she drove out of it. Then she didn't want to drive no more. I'm like, well, what are you going to do when you're out here by yourself with your friends and something like this happens? You're going to have to just deal with it. Oh, yeah, definitely need shocks in the rear of this thing. Oh, I know what I can use. I can drive up on the tilt trailer. We can sit it down, and I'll just drive up the side of it. The ramp trailer. That will max out my articulation so that I can see what size I need to get. I don't think my handyman jack goes up high enough. I saw one, but I didn't see any more. Yeah, we're on this left side over here. Coming down, and she panicked. When it dropped off one of the things, she panicked and hit the gas. No, it was right here. She panicked coming down this, because when it dropped off, it scared her. And we ended up almost in that tree. Because she basically let go of the steering wheel and freaked out. You know, like people do. Some people do. on this side over here with Ian's Jeep, and there was a gas can sitting in the middle of the road, and Ian's trying to stop so he could pick the can up in his Jeep. And you know how that worked out. We ended up climbing back up the hill to get the can. He drove right over top of it. It didn't hurt the can none. Sure had gas in it.
Fell off somebody's Jeep.
It was a quad or Jeep or side by side, yeah. It was sitting right around here somewhere. I probably fell out there and rolled down to here. And he was coming down that trying to stop. I'm like, stop stopping! This is not a good idea. I've never seen a green billy goat. Have you seen that video where the guy's getting a picture of the wild bighorn sheep? He's right up on it. He's trying to record it, and it rams him right in the nuts. It picked him completely up off the ground by his nuts. It was fucking hilarious.
Pretty dangerous. Lucky if it didn't kill him.
Right?
Those things hit hard.
Oh, I bet he wished he was dead. I was thinking to myself, you know, that's why they make telescoping lenses, so you don't have to get that close to it.
That was them politely telling him to go away.
Yeah, he was kneeling, he was on his knees, and he was kind of covering himself at first, and he got up to take the picture, and that's when it ducked its head and rammed him. Yeah, it was pretty funny. Because it wasn't me, it was funny.
You're fun.
I don't think I'm silly enough to...
Get that close to one of those?
Yeah.
I mean, I've been that close to them, but that's because I was driving past the herd.
Oh, yeah.
Rather through the herd.
I've been there. Wondering if they're going to duck their head and take out a fender or a door panel. Hey, I've had cows chase me because I mooed at them over a PA speaker. That was funny. I didn't know my moo was that good.
You were describing their mother in an uncomplimentary language.
I guess. The picture we use on our Facebook and everything was taken right over here. The one with all the clouds going through the mountains. That was taken right over there.
Using that road?
Yep. It's over the hill actually where it was taken, but it's why I like manual transmissions. Gear reduction gears. Your truck will be able to do this.
When are we going to get two identical Samurais, do you think?
I don't know if we can. I know my neighbor has one that he's willing to sell.
As long as they're both similar manuals. I prefer manuals. They don't have to be.
I don't know if they made a bunch of them. There's a whole lot of them that are manual because I don't think they made a whole lot of automatics in those things. Buy Geo trackers instead.
Geo trackers?
That's the Sidekick. The 2-door tracker was the Isuzu Sidekick.
I suppose that's possible.
And the little 4-door that we had, the little purple one, that's the Isuzu, starts with a V. Lenta or something like that.
Isuzu and General Motors did have a deal going on there
Yep.
for a while.
Yep. That's a nice little car for as cheap as I got it for. Drove it all the way to Reno a couple of times. Drove it through a couple of flash floods and pushed cars out with it. Pushed one of the fire trucks out with it. That was funny. I got pictures of that somewhere. The fire truck was on Blag. Remember when Blag used to flood before they built it up?
Sure.
They were in a fire truck. They were in one of their pickup trucks, one of the Dodge pickup trucks.
Sure.
And I guess they splashed a little bit too much because it wasn't running. And they were pushing a car out of the roadway. And I come up behind that thing and locked it in 4-low, and I'm all tinka tinka tink, tinka 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 tinka, and I pushed the truck and the car out of the water. And they're looking at me like, what the heck? Oh, it's got a 4-low. It's got manual locking hubs. That thing would just crawl right along. We took it on a couple of little dirt road trails. It's been in Carpenter Canyon. I think it's been through all this. It's a nice little car. I don't know why somebody would sell it and buy a Pontiac Grand Am. Thing didn't even last 3 weeks. Blew the engine up. There are scratches on my hood.
Might have something to do with those trees we were driving through.
Driving under, I didn't drive through any trees. This turn scared the crap out of me too. Coming the other way, you're going around, looking up the outside. When she first started driving. Yes, they're moving to Indiana this week, I think she said.
Okay.
She's going to move to Fort Wayne, Indiana. Get out of Ohio. She said New Year's, there's like 5 or 6 shootings in the area they're living in, so deciding to move to Indiana instead.
Aren't they living like right on the border anyways?
Pretty much. But Ohio's a blue state where Indiana's a red state, which means she'll be allowed to open carry, where she's got to be 21 to open carry in Ohio. More months, she'll be 20. August 3rd, her baby's due. I told her she's having a girl. I saw the pictures.
Okay.
She's all, Dad, you can't tell. I said, nope, that's a girl. She goes, that's weird. I said, why? She goes, because when they were doing it, they said they could tell that because of the heart rate that it was a girl. So I told you it was a girl. I told her she was having a boy too, and she didn't. Nobody believed me right up until she had him. 2,000 RPMs, not even 5 miles an hour. Second gear. I think I probably shipped out at 4 low now, huh? Probably keep it in 4-wheel drive though. Hours I spent fighting with that linkage to get it to shift like that. JC says he has to fight his all the time. I said, yeah, you just got to get under there and adjust it. And adjust it, and adjust it, and adjust it. Then the body lift made it even harder to get adjusted right. It came with the repositioning thing, but that actually makes it bind up worse.
Is this where your left turn is?
Yep. See, they put the sign back up. And people feel the angles up there in the ends. All right, I don't turn like
A rock tree.
a rock tree. It's all fun and games until the rock falls out of the tree.
Or the tree falls onto a car.
Right. Well, there's a car up here. They deserve to have a tree fall on them.
Do you have any fucking idea what the word car is? At all? Do you know
It's not
where
a
it
Jeep.
comes from?
It's not a Jeep.
No. The word car is short for carriage. This technically is a car.
No, it's not. Jeep people get mad if you call it a car. They get mad if you call it an SUV also.
You were a little anal retentive.
Did you just call somebody else anal retentive?
Oh, you anal retentive.
Right around here's where I took that picture. Somewhere around here. Or what's the next valley over? I can't remember which. I'd have to match the mountains up that you can barely see. It was cool. This was all fog. It was interesting as hell coming through here. The clouds were just a little low that day. Left turn 5. I tail. I mean, usually that's a good thing, but right now it's not. That diff cover off, figure out how far down it is before it gets into the ring and pinion, the ring gear, heat it up and just put tap it with it. If you go too far, you'll find out real quick. It'll make some funny noises for a little while. Then it might leak. Then you just weld over top of self-clearance. Call it a ventilation hole. No, it doesn't work that way. I bet you would vent it though. It vents all the oil out of it. And there's vehicles in front of us. That might be that Toyota group. Couple of vehicles heading towards us. It looks like two side-by-sides. I think we turn down to the right here pretty soon.
They're backing up now.
I don't know why they're backing up. We're nowhere near them. Unless I missed it, here's home. We turn right soon. If I missed it, we'll end up at the same place we came up at, by the fire station. missed it.
I saw that.
Joshua will live another day. Or Yucca, whichever it is.
Look like a Joshua.
They all look the same to me.
Nope. Yucca's got about a foot long branch. Joshua's got about a 6-inch long branch. Or bush, whatever you want to call it.
Well, we might be on that road we want to take. Or we parked out in the desert. I'm not sure where. I think it was right around here I took that picture somewhere. Maybe those are the mountains in the background.
Green.
That's kind of cool. Yeah, that's the road we want. How you guys doing? Good. Having fun? Have a good one. That is I like that paint job. That's pretty fucking cool. I don't know if it's a paint job or a wrap.
Stickers.
No, it didn't look like stickers.
What do you think a wrap is?
Well, it's different. Rocks in the road. Some places they call that building a road. Still look good, so that's a good thing. I'll have to get it realigned eventually, but I'm not going to do that until I get all the parts. Probably get tires, because I think tires is a big part of what's causing my death wobble right now. I could rotate the bald ones to the rear, but that's a bad idea.
Definitely better to have a flat on the front.
Yep. I'm worried about a flat. I'm worried about the ass end swinging around and loose traction.
You get flats.
No, I'm talking about losing traction in the rear is worse than losing traction in the front.
That's what happens when you get a flat.
I don't have to get a flat to lose traction.
Getting a flat is a guaranteed way to lose traction.
Yeah. Having a blowout's a guaranteed way to lose traction too.
Didn't that come soon?
No. Blowout's when the tire comes apart. The flat's when the tire's low on air.
So like now.
Well, a lot of people would declare 8 PSI a flat. If somebody brought their car in with 8 PSI, would you say they had a flat tire?
I'd look for the nails.
Staples.
Keys, spoons, freaking
Pair of scissors. I found a pair of scissors in my tire.
A busted screwdriver.
Found a few of those. I found a giant 3/4 inch Allen wrench in the Dodge tire.
Okay.
That was an interesting one. I drove on it for a while, and I was wondering what the clicking sound was, and I stopped, and there's a bin sitting there hitting the road. Click, 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 click. I'm like, what the hell? Like, oh, that's going to be a big leak. And that's the only flat tire I ever had in the Dodge. And it didn't go flat until I pulled the Allen wrench out and then stuffed 4 plugs in it to stop the hole. I drove it like that for a few years before I put the new tires on it.
Spendy ass tires.
Oh, those Toyo MTs are not cheap. Especially in a 37 inch by 13.5 tire. Wrist keeps popping, man. It hurts. It's like I pulled a ligament or something and it keeps popping over the bone or something. I don't know what's going on. It feels like a rubber band rubbing across my radius bone. Radius? Is that the radius? I forget. Ian might know better, but I'm pretty sure that was the radius. I'm not 100% sure.
They told me I was supposed to get another 4 weeks of physical therapy.
Oh, great.
I don't want to go back.
But you have
One
to.
freaking kid there. Ew. It's not the physical, it's not the therapy that bothers me, it's the one kid.
Tell him that. Maybe they won't put him with you.
I keep trying. He still walks up and tries to insert himself.
Tell him to go that F away. Quit being so polite, Sean. You're not polite to anybody else. The thing about him is he thinks he's being funny or friendly. I'm not sure which it is, but yeah, he just rubs people wrong. I know he rubs Ian wrong. Palmstyle off-roading.
Slalom.
Just when I'm in turns like that, I usually just keep my palm to the steering wheel. Call it good.
Put a suicide knob on this couch.
Ugh. There's a reason why they're called suicide knobs. Fine off-road though. Until you're holding on to it tight enough and hit something with a tire and it tries to rip it out of your hand.
Freaking Scout was bad anyways. Gotta get rid of that steering column.
Yeah,
Got that old Ford steering column. We'll probably put that in there.
yeah.
At least the Ford steering column's collapsible.
Yep. Yeah, we can adjust it to fit.
The Scout steering column is designed for the steering steering wheel to break off and the rest of it go through your chest.
Right, exactly. That way, you know, you don't have to cry about wrecking your Scout because you're going to go with it. So, you know.
So many instances of those steering wheels breaking off.
Yeah.
Get a freaking 4-inch diameter club shoved through your chest. Crushes your ribs.
Unless you're short, then it just hits you in the face or the neck. Keys are trying to fall out.
Okay.
Tree. Oh, I missed it. Tree. Oh, I missed that one too. Trying not to break the mirror, but you know, I'll just touch it. But you know, I got that one. Cacti. That sucker is literally just reaching.
Joshua wants you.
Holy crap! He's just reaching out here trying to say hi, isn't he? I think these grow up so high, then the wind just breaks them off when the wind blows through here.
Once they dry out,
Well, they
they're
might.
pretty fragile.
Yeah, they're pretty easy to break. They don't burn worth a darn.
It's a lot like tree bark, I think. Tree bark burns really, really good when it's absolutely dry, and it's really difficult to get it absolutely dry.
We'll just have to get Katie her own. Last year, we give her a Suzuki.
Should we get the 2 of them, 3 of them, 5 of them?
So she can go with us and drive her own vehicle. It's like driving in a go-kart.
They really are.
They are. I've driven a
Cute
few of them.
little go-kart.
You know, throw tons of money into the suckers too. There's so much aftermarket stuff for them. Like I said, a lot of people are swapping Toyota drivetrains for them, transfer cases and all. Some people even swap the little Toyota 4-cylinder in there. What's that called? R22 or
R22.
put a little turbo on them. You know, that's where your 4-cylinder with a turbo would come in handy, is if you put like 513 gears in it. So you're at 3,000 RPMs and doing miles an hour, 0.4 miles an hour. That's when your little turbo 4-cylinder comes into play. But then your highway speeds are going to suck.
Still think you should put wider differentials under them.
Under what?
Under those little Suzukis.
Yeah, well, that's what they do. The Toyotas are quite a bit wider, without being crazily too wild. I got 2 Dana 35s.
I guess I've got a 30 and a 20.
Ooh, and they're locked.
Yeah, they're not locked. They're
Limited slip.
yeah, both of them. But the one is a closed frickin' knuckle.
Oh yeah. Yeah, they're a pain in the butt, especially if you break an axle. There's an off-road show I used to watch. I don't know whatever happened to had a guy with them that had a Suzuki. He was running 33-inch tires with no lift. Just cut the fenders out. And this thing had been rolled and it was all beat up. And they're all fighting to get up this waterfall. And he drives over here and he comes through and he drives right along underneath the waterfall and comes out the other side. Because the top of his was about that much room. And you couldn't even get a stock TJ through there. It was too tall. And he was running 33s and was still shorter than the stock TJ. He's like, I don't know why everybody has such a problem with this waterfall. And he comes driving around. And he's like, where the heck did he come from? He's like, duck it, duck it, duck it. And he trailered that thing everywhere because he said the top speed was 35 miles an hour. He had it geared so low. So you could barely drive it around town without getting behind you and honking at you. He says he's never gone out with a Jeep group that didn't explain to him how he could fix the body of his Suzuki. If I fixed it, it would just look like this and so it wouldn't matter. He built a roll cage in it and he's literally bent the body completely around that roll cage. If I remember, it didn't have doors on it, or it had like a half door on it. Because he had crushed the upper panel so bad that the door wouldn't open and close no more, so he just cut it off. Oh yeah. They roll over a lot though.
That's why you need wire differentials.
Or just a really good roll cage. Because even with a wider differential, they still go this way. Or that way. That's when you start building front and rear stingers for them.
Yeah.
That way when you go forward, it at least flops you to one side or the other instead of on your head. I see people put stingers on the JKs and it makes no sense to me because they're so long. The likelihood of you going forward is pretty damn slim, right? At least on the 4 doors. The 2 doors are still pretty short. One of these days I might build me a bumper and put a stinger on it. Big chunk of angle iron to sit up against the frame, so it's shaped just like the bumper I got now, and then weld on the angle iron. Well, I guess that would be channel iron, wouldn't it? That hurts.
Don't do that.
What happens is the tire hits a rock and it pops my wrist just enough that whatever that is actually pops up. I swear I can feel it rubbing across the... Oh, maybe I got a bone spur. That would make sense. I don't know what. You just started hurting like 3 weeks ago. It wasn't even that long ago. I think it was when we built Randy's PC that it started hurting.
You slap it on something?
No, it just started. It was just a little bit of pain, like my wrist was just sore, and then within the next couple of days, it started doing this popping thing. So I don't know if I pulled something or if I got a bone spur that's catching a ligament. I'm not really sure what's going on there. It's an odd feeling. I can't really explain, but it's painful. I figured it'll go away, and if it doesn't, 6 months to 5 years from now, I'll go see a doctor about it. That's what I do when things keep hurting and don't go away. I've been dealing with this skin issue for 3 years, and I'm finally going to go see a doctor about it this month. I figured after 3 years, it's probably not going away. It wasn't really bothering me because it's where people can't see it, so it's not sorry you didn't get to go to work, Sean. Hope you get back to work soon. Washed out pretty deep too. I think we came across here once and Ian's bumper got hooked up on that and he got stuck. I had to give him just a little push to get his bumper off. Might have been this one. I think it was this one.
They're not strong enough for a Scout.
No, they're perfectly strong enough for that Scout.
With 235s on it, maybe.
Well, that's what I mean. It was perfectly strong enough for that Scout. You never had an axle issue the whole time you owned the Scout.
I haven't really driven the Scout a whole hell of a lot.
You lived there for a while. Well, mostly just in town, huh?
Lisa and I took it off-road a couple of times.
You took it up to Hawthorne once. Tonopah a couple of times.
Yeah, the carburetor was not tuned.
Yeah.
Freaking thing barely ran.
No, it didn't have a whole lot of horsepower new, so you know, with a 300,000-400,000 miles that engine had on it. I don't know if it was all the carburetor, but you know, carburetors aren't a pain in the butt.
I've met people that swear the carburetors are better, and I don't understand those people.
Not off-road.
I don't understand those people.
We'll be running the carburetor for a little bit in the truck. Hopefully not for too long.
It is what it is. 4 barrels more robust than a 2 barrel.
Right. Should run pretty good with that carburetor on it. Got an engine in there so we can get some of the wiring done. We're going to have to extend wires and repair wires and try to figure out why your dash isn't getting power.
Don't worry about that.
I know. That's a whole you thing. You like wiring.
Wiring is simple. It can be annoying as hell, but wiring is simple.
That was a loud pop. That could have been the track bar hitting, I guess. I still prefer a manual transmission over an auto. A lot of people think I'm crazy for that, especially for walking on with a manual transmission.
So Samurai use a leaf or a coil?
Leaf. kicks in a little bit.
Oh yeah, that's not all that hard to do.
Suits have a 5 also, but I don't know what size they are. Yeah, you'll get service off and on through here. More snow. Snowish. Scavenging. Isn't that a fun thing? Would you like a water?
No, I'm good.
Figured out offer. leftovers when the ranchers used to have cattle up here. Must have been a spring somewhere that they were running the water to the trough from. So the black pipe all over the place.
Never understood why they ran that stuff right down the road.
I don't have an answer for you. They're definitely running water to something. How far I know, out here somewhere in these hills, there could have been a cabin at one time.
I think it's funny how this road acts like a line.
Like a fire break.
There's all the trees and stuff on the right, and then there's desert on the left.
Yeah. It's the watershed effect.
Back up that one.
Let's go up Wallace. Well, we'll still go back up that one. I got it. There's a fly-by tree. Well, we go up Wallace, and you see the big trees up there, or we could go back.
What have ever been up Wallace?
Huh? You been up Wallace?
Never been up Wallace.
So you want to go up Wallace?
Not really. Kind of hungry.
Okay.
Unless Katie really wants to. If that's the case, I'll get that last month.
What?
Do you really want to go up Wallace?
Why do you ask?
Because he's hungry. He'd rather just go back to town, and he wants to know if you want to go see the big
If you want
trees.
to go up Wallace, I'll grab that last muffin.
Do we have enough time to go back to Wallace and actually make it down in time to get to DJ's?
I don't know what time is it.
1 o'clock.
Probably not.
Okay.
Maybe.
We'll have to do that another time then.
Go see the tree that survived many a fire later.
There are a bunch of trees up there. Bigger than the ones that are Carpenter Canyon.
Up there they are. They're on the hill.
On the hill again. She gets scared on hills.
She wouldn't put things in her cup holders.
She still says it was a vehicle malfunction.
Doesn't.
Sean and Katie are running out of time, and Sean's large intestine's trying to eat his small intestine. He says he must have food.
Okay, where is food?
I think he's thinking Johnny's.
It's okay, sure.
So we're skipping the Wallace Road. We'll do that later sometime. actually been on here so deep that I couldn't get the snow was so deep I couldn't get the Jeep up it. Then there's this little old lady. She walks her dog from town all the way up to the end of to that top of that road, turned around and walked all the way back on the weekend. A long freaking walk. She was like 72 years old the first time I met her. Lives in
That's more than a one-day frickin'.
Oh. She does it in a day. From here to town, not the whole route. She just goes from right back there. She walks up here and walks back down.
Doesn't seem right.
I've seen her multiple times up here.
Okay, I'm not arguing that. I'm arguing the distance, which it's about 15 miles from here to town, and that would be a 30-mile walk.
You walk, what, 3 miles an hour? 10 hours. I've seen her up there in the summertime and the wintertime. She's a nice lady.
I'm not arguing that, but I think she probably parks down here somewhere.
There's no vehicles down here when I come down through here. I haven't actually seen her in a while. I think she was one of the snowbirds. Maybe. I've seen her more often during the winter than I did in the summer. I figured it was just a temperature thing.
You know, 3 miles an hour is a very brisk walk, right?
I thought average speed was 3 miles an hour. Yeah.
3 miles an hour is just short of a jog, Jerry.
Hey, Katie. Grab your phone and look up average human walking speed. You should have service here. What'd you get?
Huh? Oh, it hasn't popped up yet.
Oh.
I have a slip on.
I know it's a hike I don't want to do.
3 to 4 miles per
3 to 4 miles per
hour.
hour is the average human walk speed. wrecked. Water pipe. Like I said, I have no clue what it was for, but it's all the way down, up and down this road. The only thing I can think of is cattle. So back there's a water trough. The old rusted out trough that's been there for who knows how long. And the trees are back. Always wondered if that area back there, Katie, was cleared out with a fire. The fire didn't come up that wash and burn all the trees out. Any of the rocks. I'm missing the big ones.
Someone got that tree.
Whoopsie! Look at outran Kathy and Randy. They were right behind us.
Or did you take the sharp left?
Down the hill. To the right.
On the hill?
Yeah, down there. I didn't even see a left. Did you see a left?
Yes, 2 of them.
Yeah, but they were right behind us before we went down the hill. There they are. Snow! I keep seeing beer cans all over the place. Telling me the population of Trump's getting too big. It's 2 people. It's time to move. He's up there. We're not even on that road yet. Looks like a little SUV, huh? They do pretty good until they don't, and then they're just stuck. Seatbelt works. All fires out.
Well, this has been H&G Adventures. That was our run for the day. Canyon's name. Carpenter Canyon. And yeah, we're back to the house. And I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend.